2008's IP Man I would consider one of the best martial arts movies of the 2000s. The characters, the acting, and particularly the fight choreography makes this movie so memorable that I highly enjoy going back to rewatch this because this one it is quite entertaining. By the way, I wanted to point out before someone types in the comments and says, you're saying the title of the movie wrong. I know it's called Yip Man, but I'm actually calling this IP Man because that's what I've been calling it for years because it's easier for me that way. Yeah, this is one interesting movie to say the least. And I didn't grow up with this one because I actually saw it for the first time earlier this year. So when I had found out that this is actually based on a person's life, then for sure I had to give my own opinions about how I feel about this whole movie. While the story is simple on paper, it actually works to a great effect. And thankfully, it doesn't do anything too over the top. It's not really funny. And more importantly, it doesn't have a vast amount of characters that you have to pay attention to. One of the cool things I found out about this film is that despite it not being released in North America and most of Europe, it actually won so many awards, which proves its lasting legacy that is still being talked about even all these years later. Well, I have to say, when it comes to the characters, none of them felt like weak links. Like, this film is solid through and through, particularly when it does come to the characters. Donnie Yen playing IP Man did such an amazing job. Like, I haven't seen a lot of his films he's been in, but this is probably one of the best performances he had in his movie career. Particularly how IP Man cares a lot about his students, going around teaching them the arts of Wing Chun, which is a fighting style I never heard about before until I saw this movie. Now, the late IP Man, he actually was the teacher of Bruce Lee, which made a lot of sense. I didn't know that beforehand, but when I found out, it was like, of course. Bruce Lee is considered one of the best martial arts fighters of all time, so he learned from the Grandmaster. And while this movie isn't as accurate compared to real life, it wasn't supposed to be a portrayal of the late IP Man. It's a film. I look at it as entertainment, just like, if this was like a TV show or even a book for that matter. Now, the antagonists, yeah, there is a group of bandits going around causing trouble. Jin, I look at his group as bullies. They're not the true villains. The true antagonist of this film is General Miura and Colonel Sato. I definitely hate both these characters. One felt like a dictator, while the other one was his second in command, just doing a lot of things that actually made them feel like, why are they doing this? Maybe because it's like a sense of power for them. Not great character development for both those characters, but they still felt threatening enough to the village. The music is enjoyable, the story is well told, and when it comes to the fight scenes, they're some of the best I ever saw in a martial arts film. And speaking of which, the martial arts choreography was done by Sammo Hung, who actually would return for the sequel. Speaking of which though, are the sequels worth it? Because I did look on IMDb, they seem to be mixed, but for the most part they do seem positive. I don't know if I'm going to review the other films in this film series, but I'm definitely going to check them out at least. At the end of the day, a film that is done right in so many ways. And while it's not without some issues here and there, for the most part, this is a highly entertaining movie that still holds up even more than 15 years later. I'm giving this film an 8 out of 10. Now, I have a minor complaint about this one is that it doesn't feel long enough. I kind of wish it was over 2 hours. That way we would have learned about these characters a little bit more, especially when it comes to the villains. Like, I didn't know anything much about them. They were just there for the plot. And well, that was it. Definitely a film that is thoroughly entertaining, it's a lot of fun, and overall a must-watch for any martial arts fan out there. And that's my review of IP Man. Okay, leave your comments down below in the section, and let me know what you think about this movie. Alright, this is Slim Guy 172 saying, peace out.